this is Sunshine Stamper, and today we're going to take a look at the PinkFresh Create and Connect holiday event that is happening October 11th through 12th, 2025. We're going to look through the book together. We're going to look through the kit. I haven't really had a chance to look through the kit, so it'll really be my first time looking at stuff. And we're going to go over some of the pros and cons of this event. And actually, we're going to start out with one of the negative aspects first. So I did look through this book a little, and first they did an excellent job of organizing it. I mean, it's so much better organized than previous events. Out of all the events I do, this is probably the best organized event overall. And what they added new this time was this swatch sheet that shows you a list of their inks, and the little check marks that they put in, those are the ones that you use for the event. And that is going to bring us to our very first negative item. So, as you can see here, lots of inks. Let's just better visualize this for a second. So if you want to use the inks that they recommend in their guide, I went ahead and pulled all the inks that we would need, and these are stacked like 3 high. So if you wanted to follow their guide to the letter and use the inks that they suggest for each of the projects, this is kind of what you're looking at. And yeah, there's still more here. You see this pile of ink pads? If you're trying to follow their guide, you basically need to buy a mountain of ink here. I mean, this is kind of excessive, if you ask me. Let's get down up here in the very top, little detailed black. Let's pick a little. There you go. So if you're going to follow what they suggest for the class in here, this is the amount of ink you would need to purchase. A little excessive if you ask me. And what I've noticed in previous events is they'll have a list like this, and then like some of the colors you might only use once for a small detail project where you don't really need this many colors. And my honest feedback would be I wish they would pare this down a bit for future events. Maybe pick a couple color families to focus on and let the instructors know which color families they want to focus on, and not make it seem so ridiculously over the top with the ink list. Because I have friends who are newer to making cards, and this is really off-putting to somebody who doesn't have a whole ink collection already. They look at that list and it's just completely overwhelming. And if you're trying to travel to a crop and do this at a crop, you can't really easily bring that many ink pads with you. So I really wish they would focus on maybe 10 or 12 ink pads per event, and then just show you how to use techniques like double stamping and such to get different tones when they're needed. So right away we started off with my negative, and that's been my negative for other PinkFresh events too. I mean, I think it's just way too many inks they ask for. Please, for the love of God, tone it down a little in future events. Do we really need different orange tones, all these different green tones? Well, I guess it's Christmas, so you might need the different green tones, but still, maybe if they could focus on a couple from like 4 or 5 different families, that would make it a lot easier to manage. Okay, so the griping aside, I love how they have laid out the homework, and I like how they added these photos of what your homework should look like. For me, I'm very visual, so this helps me a lot, and it helps me make sure I've got everything done, so when I go to do the class, it's quick, it's easy, got everything ready, and I know what it's supposed to look like. So very impressed with how they did these photos for the homework. Love it so much. And then, okay, so here's some of the make and takes. Love how they did very close-up photos of the make and takes. Really enjoy that. I mean, really love these big, big photos. And hopefully all the instructions are right. I like how they have your supply list for each class. They tell you which inks you're going to use and which card. That's very helpful. Really, really love the format of this. As you can see, the cards are going to be gorgeous. And then I also really like how they did this. I mean, it really feels like, remember the old days when you get that Stampin' Up! Catalog and you couldn't wait to look through it because you'd see all the pretty stuff? That is what this reminds me of. It is just gorgeous. It really reminds me of the good old days when you get that catalog and you know, like read it in the bathtub and stuff and dream about all the stuff that you want to buy. So very happy with the product guide. Not happy with the ink selection, but again, beautiful, beautiful project guide. And that brings us to the actual contents of the kit. Another great thing that I like about PinkFresh is the way they do these little zipper baggies for you to put your stuff in. And I did move my stamp sets. I think the stamp sets came separate from the other stuff, so I moved the stamp sets into the baggies for the classes that they're for, just so that I would have it a little organized. But I really didn't take the time to look closely at things, which I probably should have. And I really like this. You know, I think the bird is cute. This is for the Peaceful Perch class. And another thing that's really nice about PinkFresh, do you see how this is one big stamp? So you stamp your image once, you stencil everything at once, and then you die cut at once. So you're not dealing with a ton of fiddly little die cuts that you're, you know, trying to tape down. No, it is like all in one. I love it. For my garden method of paper crafting, this works out perfectly because I could stamp multiple of these. I could color multiples, and then I have, you know, a nice little crafty harvest for when I'm ready to make a bunch of cards at once. So really, really love that. I think the little bird's cute. I like the little cardinal. It looks like for this one, it looks like the die goes to Peaceful Tidings. I like that they at least included one die for the sentiment. I always want more sentiment dies. That's just how I am. Okay, so we'll put that one aside. Next, we'll look at this cute tree one. Oh, I love critters, and I apologize for this glare. Let's look at that. There we go. Yeah, I'd say that we'll fix that in post-production, but the reality is I don't like editing my videos, so I just start hitting record, and that's what you get. But I fixed the glare. Yay! Okay, so this is Woodland Wonder. I love the little bunny rabbits. They are so cute. Oh my gosh. And then again, all these pieces, one die. The sentiments are separate stamps. This is all one stamp right here for the critters, the ladder, the tree, the little bird. So that makes it really easy to make a batch of stuff at once. Really, really love that. You got the coordinating die. This one, it looks like we've got the two bigger sentiments that have dies for them. Very nice. And then we have the stencil set. So again, you stamp it once, color it once, cut it once. And for my garden method, absolutely perfect, because then we're saving time by making multiples and not, you know, having to make one card at a time, one piece at a time. Love that. All right, next up, this is Storybook Christmas. I guess we could have gone in order, but too late now. This is class number 3. Again, lovely, lovely stamps. I love the storybook. All those little pieces all on one stamp. That is going to be super easy to make multiples of. So you'll stamp that, stencil it, and cut it out all in one go. And then this one, it looks like we've got these two have coordinating dies, which is nice. I really like that. Those are very, very pretty sentiments. Not sure. Yeah, I'm new to this YouTube thing. We're just trying it out, so maybe you can see that, maybe you can't. Sorry if you can't, but I really like it. I was actually really, really happy with the items that came in this kit. I thought they were very, very pretty, and that they're going to be fun to use not only for the classes, but on their own later too. Sometimes, you know, you buy these retreats and you get stuff and then you use it during the class and you never want to touch it again. Okay, Okay, so this is class number 2, Sweetest Season. Again, we've got one stamp, multiple images, so we stamp that once, stencil it once, and we're done. On this one, I see 4 sentiment dies, so the 4 big ones you're going to have dies for. That will be really fun. And this one in the back, as you can see, we're going to be making a little snow globe. Oh, that's so cute. Very, very happy with those products too. Again, I love the PinkFresh retreats. I love the stuff we make. I always learn so much. It's just the inks. Ugh, the inks are like a thorn in my side. Even though I have the inks, it's still just not very convenient. And I know they say, oh, switch out the colors, blah, 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 but I don't know, sometimes you have the ADD kicks in and you want to have what they list in the class list, even if it's not very convenient. Okay, so this is for class 4, Candy Cane Corner. We've got a big die, we've got that die. So it looks like we're going to be stenciling. This stencil goes with this die, so you could color in your little ribbon, and then this says stencils. You're going to get that that watercolor look, the lineless watercolor look with this, because you're going to be stenciling without any lines there. And then I don't think I have to open this to show you. See these little triangles? That is how you are going to line up your stencils for each level. So you'll be able to do this without the stamp there to guide you. So you'll put down your first layer, you'll stencil it, make sure you get ink on these triangles, and then each layer you just stack on top of the triangles, and you could create a beautiful stenciled image without the lines, without those harsh stamp lines, and they'll all be lined up. And then again, you'll be cutting it all out at once, which I love. So that is Candy Cane Corner. I do like that one too. I bet I'm going to be using that a lot outside of the class too. I love getting those elements like that to kind of, anchor different elements on your card, and yeah, that's going to be fun. Okay, so now, I think I put the bonuses in here too. This is the essential set. So let's look right here. Okay, so first, this cover plate is gorgeous. Look at that. I love the PinkFresh cover plates. I use them all the time, especially like on just like white cardstock for your base layer. It gives you that extra little bit of texture and interest to your cards without being overwhelming, without your card looking too busy. So I really love these, especially when I cut them out of white. Then we've got this nice sentiment set. I mean, very, very beautiful sentiments. I love the size. I love the sayings. It's going to be really nice. I can definitely see using these outside of the classes on a variety of Christmas cards. It's really, really nice. And then they have these little guys that you could put inside your card. I'm trying to do that more often now. I used to just leave the insides blank and write something in there, but I do like how they look a little more finished when you have even something just this small stamped on the inside. So very, very happy about these. And then this was in the kit too. Not sure what all is in here. Looks like a very sparkly glitter paper. I'll be honest, I'm not usually a glitter paper person. It's just not my style, but you know what? We'll do the classes, we'll try it, and we'll see how it comes out. So overall, I would have to say, I don't remember exactly what I paid for this. I know it was over $200, but you get all the products, and that's a lot of products. I think this is one of the best value kits you get out there, because you don't get a lot of fillers. Like, I know some other companies, we got more glitter, let's get rid of that glitter. I know some other companies, when you sign up for a retreat, they'll send you like tubes of watercolor, they'll send you some half sheets of paper, and they count that towards the value of your kit. What I like about PinkFresh is I don't have like a set of mini cubes that I might already have or something counting towards the value of the kit. The value of the kit is all in your stamps, and it's the dyes and it's the stencils. So I think they're really a good value. And yes, what they ask for from the ink is very excessive, but really all you need to add from your own stash is some white paper, and then you're like good to go here. And that's really nice because it shows you how much you could do with just white paper. Overall, very happy I purchased the kit. Excuse me. Very much looking forward to the classes. I always learn a lot. There's always something that I don't know, no matter how many retreats I've done. I always learn something at the PinkFresh retreats. They're just so good at what they do. They're so beautiful too. And really, really innovative products. Like I would have to put PinkFresh at the top of the list for innovation just because of the way they do these stamps and dies. I mean, I wish more companies would do it like this, where it is the one piece. And yeah, I get it. Maybe you only want one mouse, but you could always, when you die cut that extra one, if you know, say you want to make 3 mice on your Christmas tree, and you're like, oh no, now I'm stamping it, you know, twice, and I don't need these extra pieces. But what you do with the extra pieces after you die cut them is you could layer them behind another piece, so you get added depth. So it's not a waste. You could find ways to use those extra pieces. And I just love the convenience of stamp, stencil, die cut all at once. And you've got all the elements for your card, and you're not taping stuff down to your mat and, you know, trying to get that perfect die cut. No, it all lines up. It is all perfect. So once again, PinkFresh, Create and Connect. Here's the booklet. Very beautiful cards. Really looking forward to it. I did purchase this with my own money. I'm not like a paid crony for PinkFresh. I just honestly do really love their products. Really love their events. And yeah, I know we flashed, but it's not good anymore. It's expired already, so don't worry. I'm not like giving away secrets there. But very much love the way they organize it. And I love how they have the schedule here. Can't say enough good things about it, except when it comes to, you know, this freaking ink sign. That's my only downside, is the amount of ink. I think if they pared down the amount of ink, far and away, best retreat to do. All right, well, thank you for joining me. If you found this interesting, it helped you make an informed decision. If your gripes match mine, or if you have different gripes, please leave a comment and let me know. And please subscribe. I intend on making